Okay, so part two. Um, I think we'll do the head. Um, Sorry again, my brain was fried for some reason during class. I had a sort of a brain freeze, so we'll just go through all these together. So the middle is done. So we did all this part in the previous video. So you see, it feels like it belongs in the same universe. The color is a bit different, but depending on which picture, it changes a little bit. So it makes sense with this. Okay. Now the head, so we have the group set up already. So we'll just change the initial material. We'll create a metal. So for creating a metal, we just pick a gray color. So I'll just pick this one over here. So it's kind of a beigey one here. And then we'll add metalness. And the roughness it looks fine to me at this moment. Um, I did add some anisotropic noise in class, but it's really subtle. I mean, there's no clear need for this. When I had the hammer in hand and looking at it, it was really more obvious. In this picture, we can barely see any of this. So what we'll do, let me just turn this upside down. Okay. So this we already have a base. There's not much to this, to be honest. It's just the rust and the metal. So the rust goes in, and the metal seems to stay on top. So I think what we'll do is we'll just tackle the rust, and that will be it. So okay, so in the head folder we have our mask already. That's so Alt and clicking on the mask, we see what what it is affecting. Right now we see that it's just the head. So we go back inside of the folder. So right now there's a base. So on top of the base, well, we'll change the order later on, but we'll then go through here in the materials. So we'll find rust over here. Since I have a fill already, I just need to click once. I did, so it should update. If not, I can, yeah, okay. So here, maybe you'll have issues with the seams over here. Um, to be honest, most of this is because of the height. So this has a different height value than this. But for now, we won't use the height of this. We'll use something else to drive the height for the rust. So what we'll do is that we'll take the height of the rust and we'll just remove it altogether. We can see color variation, so this is where my new UV seam is. So I could just, you know what, do a triplanar to make sure to remove this. Okay, so the triplanar seems to create artifacts on over the edges, but we'll try to make it work. So, okay, so the rust compared to the image to the left is a lot more red over here, which is which is far from the reference. So we'll just darken it and darken it and darken it. Okay, so that's a lot closer. Still, we have this color variation, which is great from the rust material. So we just leave it as is. So this is rust over here. Okay, so now we'll do some masking. So it feels like clouds again. It feels like very. So if I show you what a cloud looks like, so clouds. So it's called also a fractal noise. So it's kind of you see how the edges are jagged and just the way like this part is. So I think we'll use this to mask. There's three clouds, which are great also, just like the black and white ones. So now we'll do rust, black mask, add a fill. I'll just put this in. Okay. Okay. So right now we don't see the rust at all, pretty much, but we see the seams. So we have to fix this by changing it to triplanar projection. Okay, it works. So we'll just change the contrast of this, the balance and contrast. So balance changes the white and black values. I don't know if it's doing really what we see over here. Let me try another one. This is better, but it's not quite there yet either. So let's do A levels on top of that. And let's just clamp the values. I want more black over here. I think we'll start with that and we'll adjust afterwards. It's not perfect by any means. So I'm playing around with the middle portion so that the gradient from the center to the end is a lot tighter. I think that's what it's going to be for now. Okay. So I think I'll add an additional one. So add fill. But this time we'll go with something smaller, black and white, let's say. Noise, I meant. Let's try this over here. I'll just save if since it's not responding well. I'm sort of freaking out, but it might crash on me. But this is the habit. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it was computing the texture. Okay, so now we have, and then it's saved, so we're good. So again, this is a normal, so I'll just go look. So the black is showing up, so I'll change this to multiply. Oh, sorry. So in this case, we want to lighten because we don't want to, well, we could actually make the spots underneath bigger and just use the black and white spots to sort of hide the underneath information. But I think, is that a good idea? Well, will that give me what I need? I think I'll just see with lighten before. Okay, you know what? Yeah, on here we can see the lines from the anisotropic noise that I was mentioning before. So we could add those over here if we want. So over the base, we could do a fill, fill, new layer. So this is anisotropic. We'll just do color and over to the textures, anisotropic. We'll do triplanar, and then we'll change the tiling of this. I think I'll like this. This is more believable already, but it's far too strong. I think I'll just go in the parameters and increase the amount, just because the lines over here are more blurry and less just linear. So from here, we'll do so we take the base color. We want to lower the base color of this so it's really subtle. So you see how it just gives it this dimension, this extra dimension where it's a lot more visually interesting. So in the red, it will be the color variation, but in this, adding this anisotropic noise really makes it work in terms of material when you look at different distances. Okay, it's not really like the reference. The chaos in those lines is crazy. I mean, I've never seen a pattern like this. So, okay, so we'll try to make it work. So I think in the Rust, what I'll do is I'll try something new. I'll try doing scratches that are really small and then warp those scratches so that I get this squiggly effect. So let me just again duplicate the Rust. I'll do this on a separate layer just to say that I keep my initial layer just as is, and then if anything happens, at least I'm not screwing up anything. So over to here, so now my mask is back to blank. Sorry, back to black. And so we'll do a fill, and we will do over here. What are we gonna do? We want scratches. Sorry, scratches over here. Perfect. And we'll make them more apparent and a lot smaller. Or in my mask, in the grunge, this I'll definitely need to do triplanar again. I'll change the scale. I'll try to add as many as I can. Let me do a level zone here to make it more apparent. So I'll crank the white. So I have lots of stripes. Now what I'll do is I'll duplicate this layer to have even more. And I'll do a random seed again to generate a different pattern of the same idea. So if you see the back and forth, so it just created new scratches from the basic behind the map behind this, the mathematics. So the equation that creates these all these textures. So now we're in normal, so we want to do, let me just check the mask. So we want to lighten in that situation. Oops, not the layer itself, but the fill. So let's do lighten, so you can see that the previous scratches now appear. So I think I just changed one of the two to triplanar. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, here, triplanar. And then I think I'll just move it around so that it's more, dispersed. It's just that we don't see them down there. Okay. And then I think I'll just make them more visible. In the scratches textures, there's these little things that we can disable if we, they're called dirtiness. So I don't, oh no, that's not this, sorry. Dust, that's it. So we'll remove the dust from both of the scratches so that we get just the lines. And from these, we'll do a warp, the filter that I showed you the other day. So warp, bam, you see it's squiggly. We're getting there. The tiling is too small, but it's getting there. So we'll do a bigger tiling. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's no, it's not perfect at all. What if we play around with the sliders? I'll go back. Yeah, I think this gives me the same idea as these ones, but it's not really the right noise. Maybe if I use my own noise, custom noise. Let's see with anisotropic, because it's linear. Probably if we turn the noise, I don't think we can. Noise. Oh, rotate. It's gonna just rotate 90 degrees. Okay. Anyways, so can we blur this? Ah, we're getting there. I wish we could blur the source, but we can't. So I think I'll just blur this. Add filter and then blur. You know, it's not perfect, but it's, I mean, the essence is there. Okay, so we don't see what's underneath over here. It's probably because of the lines. Oh, okay. So, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. This is on a different layer. But you see, it's I don't like the spots, but it's getting there. You see how spotty, like very fine. There's little dots that reveal the. I could use the same idea with those here to mask. So either again black and white spots or maybe white noise in this one. So add fill, white noise over here, and then this I'll multiply and lower the opacity. It's not It's interesting because it creates the chaos that like the effect, but the tiling is too small. 0.5. If I increase the contrast, no. Ah, here's the time for a new filter that I didn't show you in class. So you can do a sharpen, add filter, sharpen. So you'll see everything will be a lot more detailed and a lot more crisp. So you see how it just added such great contrast to this. So so yeah, again, it's not perfect by any means, but I mean there's no I I feel it's a bit darker still, the rust. Oops. And I'm not really satisfied with the spots. Clouds. So I feel the white spots are too obvious. Maybe if I add a warp onto here. Add filter warp. But we're really close to this. I'll lower it a little bit. Yeah, like this. It makes more sense. Again, it's not a one-to-one thing, but it reveals the material that's underneath, and it creates visual variation, visual interest. So by adding a levels, I'll try to make these spots a bit more opaque. Okay, so maybe through here. Well, yeah, I think this works. I just need. We see the warp a little too much over here. I would be able to do it on a separate level, separate layer, so that I have more control over it with the white spots. But let me do 0.25. I don't want to waste too much time on this either. Okay, you know what? That's fine. So what you can do also is to make the light turn around so that you can see if it makes sense. Yeah, I think the transition is a bit too blurry, whereas in the picture it's um, a bit more defined. So I could just clamp either one of those, yeah, over here. Okay, and then this has the rust has thickness. We don't really see it in this one. I think I'll just put back on the the height. Oh, you can see it over here, the lines of the anisotropic noise very well, and over here. Okay, so again, by increasing the divider intensity divider, it decreases the strength of the multiplier. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I said I would put back the height on here. And you see how now it's going out. It's definitely too strong. I'm not a fan of what it gives me at the moment. But we can play around with this. So in the technical parameters, we can say height position to have it go inside the model as opposed to outside. And then I'll just lower the height again to have it very subtle. A little bit more. Okay. So that's it for the head. Oh, there's scratches at the top. We could do scratches. So we have rust over here. Since the scratches won't be affecting where the rust is, I'll just add the scratches before. So even though it's on top, it's on the surface of the metal before the rust. So let's do this. So I'll do a fill layer with height only. So Alt and click this channel to have just the height. And we'll do scratches. Again, it's inversed, so reversed. So here we'll do triplanar to make sure that it follows all the spots, and it's way too strong. So we'll do just a little bit. Oops. It's not so much the height, you know what? I could add this as a mask for the rust instead. Let's do that. Oops. Sorry, I hate when in tutorials you're following step by step, you're pressing pause and so on and so forth, and then at the end the guy just, oh, let's just do something completely different and scrap everything that's been done. So here I am doing exactly this. So scratches, put it here, and then, so I want the rust to be hidden where there's the scratches because there is the metal. So we'll do a invert onto this so that the black hides, and now we'll multiply this to hide it from the rust. Is it apparent? I'll just make it more. Oh, it's the opposite. It's showing you. If I do lighten and invert again. Ah, that's it. So, sorry. Triplanar and scale. It's not hiding the rust, it's showing the rust at the moment. But, you know, it's okay. It looks great, that's what counts. Okay, so I think that's it. The warp is a bit too much, but I'll fix that later. All right, so hope this went well, and I'll see you for the last part. Oh, I forgot one thing, sorry. I keep forgetting always one thing. On top here, there's a red plastic thingy. So what we can do is just add a fill, add black mask, and then just go draw this part. So I'll just eyeball it. So over here, if I press Control and Shift, I can draw a straight line. So right now I don't really care what's in my layer as long as I'm drawing in the mask. And this mask will be driving the rest. So now, what's this look like? Okay, I'll fix this. So I want this to be blurred because there's sort of a bevel over here. So filter and blur. Okay, and I'll add this with height and do a negative so that it's inside the mesh. And then it's a very glossy red finish. So we'll do just a red, right? Color pick. Ah, it was better before. Yeah, that's great. And I think it's a bit big. I could erase it. Or, you know what? Instead of erasing, I could blur more and then do the trick that I wanted to show you in class where you clamp in the values. So I would add more black so that it reduces the outer width of the shape because it's clamping up the values. Oops, I want less. Okay, that's great. So I feel it's a bit more reflective. So I'll add more roughness. Or anyways, I'll lower the roughness so it's more like a varnish kind of. I kept the height from underneath just for visual variety, but I could have, if you don't want this, you could instead, in the blending mode for the height, instead of linear dodge, that's by default, you could just do replace. Replace here. So it removes anything that's underneath this layer. So I could do this and then have my own height on this, for example. So yeah, so maybe I could do replace but lower the opacity so that I still have the some information but not too much over here. Yeah, you know what? I'm satisfied with that. All right, we'll do the next one and we're done. I hope you're having fun. It's a creative process, but again, it's not intuitive at first. But the more you do it, the more you play around with these things, the more you know your nodes, the more you know your noises, and the better the process becomes. So I hope I make it clear enough, even though I'm sort of mumbling. But yeah, so yeah, see you in the next one.